Okay, so welcome to all of you. Now we'll see when we say that the function is continuous at x is equal to c. So first we will define the continuity of the function. So which is the epsilon delta definition. Okay. So what is the epsilon delta definition of a continuity of a function? So let a be the subset of R and let f a from R be the function. Let C be the cluster point of A. We say that f is a continuous at C if for given epsilon greater than 0 there exists delta greater than 0 such that, so this is the definition of the limit also said. Here we are writing N, so instead of N just we have to write f of C. Your limit should be the f of C. Okay, so what is the definition of the continuous function? So the for given epsilon greater than 0 there exists delta greater than 0 such that mod of x minus c lies between 0 and delta f of x minus f of c is less than epsilon. Okay, so this is same as the definition of the limit. So for limit what we are writing here, so we say that here is the limit of the function f of function f if for given epsilon greater than 0 there exists delta greater than 0 such that 0 less than mod of x minus c less than delta implies that mod of f of x minus n less than epsilon. That is the definition of the limit. We are familiar with this one. So instead of n you have to write only the f of c and you have to write here what we say that f is a continuous at c. Okay, so this you have to write only here. Okay, so this is the same as the definition of the limit. Okay, so now we have seen the definition of the continuity in the last year that f is the continuous at x is equal to c if and only if limit x tends to c f of x is equal to f of c. Okay, so we are familiar with this definition. Okay, and we are applying this definition also this year. So this is only the epsilon delta definition. So this definition also we are using this one, limit x tends to c f of x is equal to f of c. So that means what, directly you can put x is equal to c. If you can put directly x is equal to c, then that function is continuous. Okay, so now we will see the sequential criteria for convergence and divergence now. Okay, the same thing as the limit now here. So when this is a continuous function at x equal to c, if and only if every sequence in A which is converges to c, that also then the f of xn converges to f of c. Okay, so that means what here, xn converges to c, f of xn converges to f of c. Okay, so this is if and only if. This is if and only if. Okay, not this is not if and only if is continuous. F is continuous and equal to c if and only if xn converges to c implies that f of xn converges to f of c. Okay, so if xn converges to c implies f of xn converges to c, then we say that f is a continuous at x is equal to c. So if f is a continuous at x is equal to c, then if a sequence xn is convergent to c, then f of xn is also convergent to f of c. This is the if and only if condition. This is the sequential criteria for this one. That means what, if you have sequence in xn such that will converge to c, but f of xn do not converge to f of c, then that function will not be the continuous. Okay, so that is the divergence criteria. So see here, f is the subset of R, f is the function, and c is the point in A. Then f is discontinuous at c if and only there exists a sequence x in A so that which is converges to c, but f of xn do not converge to f of c. So that is the if this happens, then we say that the function is discontinuous at x is equal to c. Okay, so now we'll see some important points for the continuity of the function. Note 1, if f of c is not defined, then f is discontinuous at x is equal to c. Okay? Second, if limit x tends to c, f of x does not exist, then f is discontinuous at x is equal to c. Okay, so limit does not exist, function is not continuous. Third one, limit x tends to c, if limit x tends to c, f of x not equal to f of c, then f is discontinuous at x is equal to c. Next, so here what? Here x tends to c, f of x exists, f of c is also defined, but they are not equal, so then function is discontinuous. If limit x tends to c plus f of x not equal to limit x tends to c minus f of x, then f is discontinuous at x. That means what? Left hand limit not equal to right hand limit. So that means what here? The limit does not exist, and if the limit does not exist, then f is discontinuous at x. Okay. Next, if limit x tends to c plus f of x, limit x tends to c minus f of x is equal to f of c, then f is continuous at x is equal to c. That means the function is continuous at x. Left hand limit is equal to right hand limit is equal to f of c. Okay. So these are the important points to solve some problems on the continuity. Okay. So we'll take a problem on the continuity so that you will understand concept of the continuity. Okay. So we'll take a problem. So we'll see example. F of x is equal to b. Okay. For all x belong to R. Suppose this is a function. So this is a constant function. This is a constant function. Let c belong to R. Let c belong to R. So therefore f of c is equal to b. Limit x tends to c, f of x. Limit x tends to c, b. Limit of constant is constant. Okay. So therefore limit x tends to c, f of x is equal to f of c. So therefore f is continuous at x is equal to c. Okay. So c is arbitrary. C is arbitrary. Therefore f is continuous for all x belongs to R. That is, every point this function is continuous. Okay. So this is a constant function. So the constant function is continuous everywhere. The constant function is continuous everywhere. Now we will take a second example. Similarly, we can prove f of x is equal to x. So this is identity function. Okay. So we can prove, we directly say, we can prove limit x tends to c, f of x is equal to f of c is equal to c for all c belongs to, for all c belongs to R. That we can prove this. C. What is limit x tends to c, f of x? So f of x is c, x. Right? So there is no denominator, the limit is c now. F of c is also c. So that means what here? F is continuous identity. So therefore f is continuous for all x belongs to R. Continuous for all x belongs to R. Okay. So now if we take this example, f of x is equal to 1 by x. So now we know that if the denominator is 0, then everything is there. Okay. So if x not equal to 0, then f is continuous for all x belong to R. For all x belong to R. Okay. So that means x not equal to 0. So that is what? That is f is continuous. F is continuous for all x belong to R except at x is equal to 0. Except at x. That means 0 is the discontinuity. 0 is the discontinuity of the function. Okay. So next. Okay. So let A be the subset of R and F from, so not, okay. So F from R to R defined as F of x is equal to 1 if x is rational, and 0 if x is irrational. Okay. So then what happened? Okay. So what we have to check whether discuss the continuity of f. Discuss the continuity of f. We have to discuss the continuity. Okay. Solution. Given that this is the function. Okay. This is the function. Okay. Case 1. Okay. Let C belong to R. We will discuss the continuity. We will discuss the continuity at x is equal to C belongs to R. Okay. So case 1. Okay. Let C be a rational number. So rational as well as irrational number. C is the real number. That means either C is the irrational number or the rational number. If it is not rational, it is irrational. If it is irrational, then it is then it is not a rational. Okay. So let's say with the rational number. Let xn be the sequence that converges to let xn be a sequence of irrational numbers that converges to C. So that is what xn is converges to C. Okay, but f of xn, whatever. So what is xn? Is sequence of the irrational number. So that means if x is the irrational, the value of the function is 0. So xn is the irrational. So therefore f of xn is 0 for all n belongs to n now. Okay, and f of c is equal to, what is c? C is the rational number, is 1. It's 1. So therefore f of xn converges to 1. F of xn is converges to 1. So and converges to 1. So not converges to 1 now. Converges to 0. F of xn is converges to 0. So that is f of xn do not converges to 1. Do not converges to f of c. Do not converges to f of c. So therefore f is not continuous for all c belong to C is what your rational number, for all c belongs to Q. So that is C is the rational number for all not for all c belong to not continue. Okay, it is correct. Now we will see. Let c be the irrational number. Second case. Let c be the irrational number. Let x be the sequence of the rational number that converges to c. So xn is converging to c. So what is this? F of xn is the rational number. So this is 1 then. This is 1. Okay, and your f of c is 0. So f of xn is converges to 1. That is f of xn is not converges to f of c. Your f of c is 0. So f is not continuous for all c, not continuous for all irrational numbers, right? So therefore f is not continuous. So therefore f is not continuous for all x belong to R. So for rational number it is not continuous, for irrational number it is not continuous. That means this function is not continuous anywhere. So every point this function is discontinuous. Okay. Okay, discuss, we'll take a problem now. Discuss the continuity of the function f of x is equal to x e raised to 1 by x upon 1 plus e raised to 1 by x if x not equal to 0, if x is equal to 0 at origin. Okay, solution. Given that f of x is equal to x e raised to 1 by x upon 1 plus e raised to 1 by x for x not equal to 0 is equal to 0 if x is 0. Now we know that e raised to minus infinity is 0 and e raised to we have to discuss the continuity at 0. Okay, so first we will write the definition of the continuity. Okay, so we know that f is continuous at x is equal to 0 if limit x tends to 0 f of x is equal to f of 0, right? This is the definition of the continuity. What we want to discuss the continuity of the function. That means what we know that the function is continuous at x is equal to 0 if limit x tends to 0 f of x is equal to 0. So what is our aim? We have to check whether these two are equal or not. That means what? Separately we have to evaluate f of 0. Separately we have to evaluate limit x tends to 0 f of x. So if they are equal, then your function is continuous. Okay. If they are if one of them is do not exist, then the function is not continuous. Now see here f of 0 is defined here. F of 0. So we write f of 0 is 0 now. F of 0 is we have. Okay. So we have f of 0 is 0. Okay. Now we have to evaluate the limit x tends to 0 f of x. So if it is equal to 0, then function will be the continuous. Not equal to 0, function will not be discontinuous. So our aim is now to evaluate the limit x tends to 0 f of x. So now here what x tends to 0 means what here? X is less than 0 or greater than 0. So see whether we have the we'll see what happens if x less than 0 and x greater. If x less than 0, then 1 by x tends to minus infinity and e raised to minus infinity is 0 then. Okay, and for x greater than 0, then 1 by x tends to plus infinity and it will be the infinity. That means your function is changed when for less than 0 and greater than 0. We need to evaluate the left hand limit and right hand limit. So we will evaluate the left hand limit and we will evaluate the right hand limit. So left hand limit x tends to 0 minus. So that is what? X e raised to 1 by x upon 1 plus e raised to 1 by x, right? So directly you can put this is what? Here what? E raised to minus infinity 0. Your denominator will not be 0. Directly you can put this one. So this is what 0 into e raised to minus infinity 1 plus e raised to minus infinity. So 0 into 0 upon 1 plus 0. So 0 upon 1, this is 0. Okay. So your left hand limit is 0. No problem for left hand limit. Okay. So it is 0. Well, we need to evaluate the right hand limit also. Okay. So right hand limit. This is what? Limit x tends to 0 plus x e raised to 1 by x upon 1 plus e raised to 1 by x. So now we want to evaluate this one. So see, x tends to plus in 0 plus. So that means what? 1 by x tends to plus infinity and e raised to infinity is infinity. So here what we will do? We will multiply and divide by e raised to minus 1 by x. E raised to minus 1 by x. So this will what then? Limit x tends to 0 plus. So this is x upon. So e raised to minus 1 by x plus 1 now. Okay. So now this is what? 0 upon e raised to minus infinity plus 1. 0 upon 1 is 0. Okay. So here what then? Left hand limit. Left hand limit is equal to right hand limit. So therefore limit x tends to 0. F of x exists and it is equal to 0. Common value we have to take is 0. And this is same as f of 0 also. So if it is not equal to direct, you can not equal to f of 0. But your f of 0 is 0 now. So therefore f is continuous at x is equal to 0. So your function is continuous at x is equal to 0. Okay. So very nice example. So only the crucial part is what? To evaluate the limit. To evaluate the limit. So that means what? The continuity is the application of the limit. It is the application of the limit. Okay. Okay. So let f be a function. Next problem. F be a function defined as f of x is equal to x square plus x minus 6 upon x minus 2, x not equal to 2. X not equal to. Can f be defined at x is equal to 2 such way that f is continuous at x is equal to 2. Okay. So that means what? We have to define f of 2 so that this f of x is a continuous function. Okay. So solution, given that f of x is equal to x square plus x minus 6 upon x minus 2 for x not equal to 2. Okay. So I have to redefine this function. Okay. Such way that it is continuous at x equal to 2. Okay. So we know that f is continuous at x is equal to 2 if I will write here f of 2 is equal to limit x tends to 2 f of x. Okay. This is equal to limit x tends to 2. What is your f of x? X square plus x minus 6 upon x minus 2. So this is what? Limit x tends to 2. X tends to 2. Because this is polynomial. So no problem for the left hand limit and the right hand limit here. So see here 2 square is a 4. 4 plus 2 is 6. 6 minus 6 is 0. Your numerator is 0. Your denominator is 0. That means what? X minus 2 is the factor of the numerator. So if x minus 2 is factor, so the product is 6. So it should be the x plus 3 because coefficient of x square is 1. So directly we can write the factor now. This is what? X minus 2. So it gets cancelled. So this is equal to limit x tends to 2 x plus 3. So this will what? 5. This will be 5. So therefore we redefine the function as f of x is equal to x square plus x minus 6 upon x minus 2, x not equal to is equal to 5 for x equal to is such that as this is continuous at x is equal to 2. So which is, okay, we will see which is continuous at x is equal to c. Okay, this is the solution now. If f of x is continuous, if f of x is continuous at x is equal to 0, where f of x is equal to x square plus a for x greater than 0, 2 root of x square plus 2 plus b for x less than strictly less than, because greater than 0 is there, is equal to 1. For x is equal to 1, find a and b. Find a and b. Okay. F of 1 is equal to 2 now. Okay. So is equal to 1. Is equal to 2. Okay. So is equal to 2 or x is equal to 1. And f of 1 is equal to 2. Find a and b. Okay, solution. Given that f of x is equal to x square plus a, x greater than 0, 2 root of x square plus 2 plus b, x greater than 0, is continuous at x is equal to 0 and f of 1 is equal to 2. Okay, so f of 1 is equal to 2 implies that, so f of 1 where x takes the value 1, for x greater than 0 you have the function x square plus a. So this is what 1 square plus a is equal to what 2. This implies that a is equal to 1. So we get the value of a now. Our aim is to find the value of b only. Okay. So f is continuous f is continuous at x is equal to 0. Is 0. Therefore, limit x tends to 0 plus f of x is equal to limit x tends to 0 minus f of x is equal to f of 0. Right? This is the definition of the limit. Just we are applying here. Now x tends to 0 plus. Okay, we'll write the function now. Limit x tends to 0 plus f of x. X tends to 0 plus means x is greater than 0. X is greater than 0. Your function is x square plus a. Limit x tends to 0 minus. 0 minus means x is less than 0. So your function is 2 root of x square plus 2 plus b is equal to f of 0. So 0 takes value here now. So this is what 0 square plus a. So this is a, and you have the already value of a is what 1 now. So this is 1 now. This is 1. Okay. So that already done here. So therefore limit. So directly we will take the limit from here. So what is that? For here no problem. This is what 0 square plus a is a now here. that we have already written here. Only we will write here 0 here. So what is that? So 2 root 2 plus b is equal to 1. Is equal to 1. So therefore b is equal to 1 minus 2 root 2. So therefore a is equal to 1 and b is equal to 1 minus 2 root 2. Next, discuss the continuity. Discuss the continuity of f of x at x is equal to 0, where f of x is equal to e raised to 1 upon x minus 1, e raised to 1 upon x plus 1 for x not equal to 0 and e is equal to 0 for x is equal to 0. So what we have to do? We have to discuss the continuity at x is equal to 0. Okay. So we'll write the solution now. Solution given that f of x is equal to this. Okay. So we have to discuss the continuity at x is equal to 0. So we'll write first definition so that we'll get an idea how to check whether the function is continuous or not. Okay. So this is the function given. We know that we'll write. We know that f is continuous at x is equal to 0 if limit x tends to 0 f of x is equal to f of 0. Okay. So this is the definition. The function will be continuous when this is whole. This equality whole. So what is our aim then? We have to find f of 0. We have to find limit x tends to 0 f of x. So first, which part is easy? F of 0. This is easily we can write. Just we will write this one. Okay. So here f of 0 is equal to 0. Now we evaluate the limit x tends to 0 f of x. If it is f of 0, then we are through. So first we will find limit x tends to 0. But before finding limit x tends to 0, so x tends to 0 means x is less than 0 or greater than 0, because here e raised to 1 by x is there. So e raised to minus infinity, just we have seen in the previous. Okay. So we have to take a left hand limit and right hand limit, because directly we cannot find the limit x tends to 0. Okay. So we have to take the left hand limit and right hand limit. So limit x tends to 0 minus f of x. So that is what? Limit x tends to 0 minus, here f of x is what? E raised to 1 by x minus 1, e raised to 1 by x plus 1. So I can directly put the value here, e raised to minus infinity upon 1, e raised to minus infinity plus 1, 0 minus 1 upon 0 plus 1. So this is minus 1. So your left hand limit is minus 1. So what happened to the right hand limit now? So right hand limit is what? Limit x tends to 0 plus f of x. So this is what? Limit x tends to 0 plus e raised to 1 upon x minus 1, e raised to 1 upon x plus 1. So here I will divide and multiply by e raised to minus 1 by x as before. Okay. So what happened then? So this is what? Limit x tends to 0 plus we'll multiply this. So what happened then? This is what? 1 minus e raised to minus 1 by x upon 1 plus e raised to minus 1 by x. So now this is what then? E raised to minus infinity upon 1 plus e raised to minus infinity. So 1 minus 0 upon 1 plus 0. So this is 1. Okay. So now your left hand limit is minus 1. Your right hand limit is 1. So therefore what? Left hand limit not equal to right hand limit. So therefore limit x tends to 0 f of x does not exist. So if limit does not exist, the function will not be continuous. Therefore f is not continuous continues at x is equal to 0. Not continue at x is equal to 0. Okay. So show that f of x is equal to mod x is continuous for all c belongs to R. For all c belongs to R. Okay. Solution. Given that f of x is equal to mod c. Okay. We know that mod of x minus mod of c, mod of, we instead of this we'll write a and b. Okay. So a b, this is less than equal to mod of a minus b. We are familiar with this one, that will apply this one. Okay. Okay. So 0 is less than mod of x minus c is less than delta. Okay. Imply that mod of f of x minus f of c less than, so that we will write here now. Okay, so we have to choose. Okay, so what we have to do? We have to prove that it is exist. Okay, so it's continuous. Okay, so we want to show that for given epsilon greater than 0, there exists delta greater than 0, such that 0 less than mod of x minus c less than delta, implies that mod of f of c f of x minus c less than epsilon. This we are doing. Okay. Okay. So let mod of f of x minus f of c now. Okay. So what is mod of, this is mod of x, f of x is mod of x minus mod of c, minus mod of c. Okay. So you know that this is less than mod of x minus c. Okay. This is less than epsilon. This is less than epsilon. So mod of x minus c is less than epsilon. So choose delta is equal to epsilon. Right. So therefore there exists delta greater than 0, such that for given epsilon greater than 0, directly we get here x minus c is less than epsilon. So you may take that delta is epsilon. That means there exists delta. There exists delta greater than 0, such that is. Okay. So we get this x minus c is less than. From this you should get x minus c less than some number that we want. Okay. So that we have proved. Given epsilon greater than 0. Okay. For given epsilon greater than 0. 0 less than mod of x minus c less than delta, implies that mod of f of x minus f of c is less than epsilon. So therefore f is continuous at x is equal to c. Okay. C is continuous. As c is arbitrary, so therefore f of x is equal to mod x is continuous for all c belong to R. So therefore this. Okay. Okay. So therefore this is your final answer. Okay. Now we take the next problem. Let k greater than 0 and let f from R to R, f from R to R satisfy the condition, mod of f of x minus mod of f of y is less than or equal to k mod of x minus y for all xy belongs to R, for all xy belongs to R, show that f is continuous at x is equal to continuous for all c belong to R, for all c belong to R. Okay, solution. Let f from R to R be the function such that mod of f of x minus f of y less than or equal to k mod of x minus y for all xy belong to R. This we have. Okay. We want to show that f is continuous for all c belong to R. For all c belong to R. Okay, so for given epsilon greater than 0, choose delta is equal to epsilon upon k. That we will choose. Okay. Mod of x minus c less than delta implies that mod of x minus c less than epsilon by k. This implies that k into mod of x minus c is less than epsilon. So this implies that mod of f of x minus f of c is less than or equal to k into mod of x minus c is less than epsilon, right? So this implies that mod of f of x minus f of c less than epsilon. Okay, so mod of x minus c less than delta implies mod of x minus c less than epsilon. Okay, so therefore f is continuous at x is equal to c. As c is arbitrary, therefore f is continuous for all c belongs to R. For all c belongs to R. Okay. Now we'll take a next problem. So next problem we'll write a note. Suppose we'll write a note. Okay, note. F from R to R is continuous on R and f of R is equal to 0 for all R belongs to Q. That means for all rational number your f of R is 0. Then f of x is equal to 0. Then f of x is 0 for all x belong to R. Okay. So here the function is continuous everywhere. And f of R is 0 for every rational number. So then f of x is equal to 0 for all real number. That means for irrational number, then f of x is also 0. For rational number, for rational number your f of x is 0. So that means what here? And f is a continuous. Then your f of x is 0 for all irrational number also. For irrational number also. Okay. This is the meaning of this note. Okay. Okay. So now for algebra of the continuous function, that we will see in the next lecture. Okay. So now we will stop here. Thank you.